that happened this past week in Washington, D.C. If you want to get more information on what we're doing, you can easily do that at JiggyJaguar.com. And, of course, this segment of the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Show is brought to you by our good friends at FocalMe-FocalU.com. Liz has some incredible clothes over there. Go check it out, FocalMe-FocalU.com. And we want to bring into the broadcast Mr. Bill Fady. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you doing?
Pretty good, actually. Now, this Navy vet was the lone gunman. He was arrested in 2 previous shooting incidents. How the hell did this happen? How was he allowed to be allowed to do all these things in this? He killed 12 people at a Navy building in Washington on Monday morning. It's been the big story of the week. How did this happen that he'd been arrested in 2 previous shooting incidents and was able to have a gun and be able to get in there and do all these things?
Actually, there was 3 chances they had to have done something about this.
Okay.
The first shooting in 2004, if he'd been charged with that and convicted of it, he would have been flagged on the NICS checks, NICS.
Wow.
The second shooting in 2010, if he'd been arrested and charged and convicted, he would have popped up on the NICS checks.
Yeah.
And when he was in Rhode Island and he was telling the police there that people were sending energy into his body via the microwave, and he was hearing the voices, if they committed him to a mental hospital, he would have popped up on the NICS check if Rhode Island put that in the NICS system. So we got this guy who, he slipped right through the system, the background check system.
What can we do to fix this? This has got to be this has got to be something that that we can fix sometime down the line. Is that possible? What do you suggest here?
In the long run, they're going to have to stop this oral medication, come see me once a month psychiatric treatment. They're going to have to, these people, if they were treated the correct way, the way psychiatry can treat them, they are redeemable, they can be salvaged, they can get over their issues. But they don't do that anymore. They don't do that at all. It's all oral medication. They might get them to write a non-aggression contract, and they send them on their way. Come see me in a month. This guy was had been treated at 2 VA hospitals. They knew he was having a sleep disorder. He suffered from paranoia. He was hearing the voices.
Yeah.
In the long run, they're going to have to address the mental health issue. In the short run, they're just going to have to acknowledge that a gun-free zone is a target and do away with those.
Yeah. We've got Bill Fady with us today here on the big broadcast, and Bill Fady can be found at lockandloadradio.com. That's lockandloadradio.com. He's the host of Lock and Load, presented by the Gun Owners of America. Bill Fady is a staunch Second Amendment supporter with a deep-seated belief in the United States and the American people. It seemed to me the minute this happened, everyone's like, get all the guns! Why is it that this always happens when the lone nut or an Islamist starts screaming Allah Akbar and starts shooting the place up? Why do we immediately go, grab the guns? That's how we fix it, grab the guns.
Well, because the only time the civilian disarmament complex actually has a chance to try to do anything is when people are giving way to emotion rather than to cold hard facts. Cold hard support gun ownership. Cold hard facts show that where there is a prevalence of guns, there is less crime.
Yeah.
And they all they have is emotion and a bunch of lies, and they can trot that out. Now, the media coverage of this particular incident was quite hilarious. I was the only one, when I did the show on Tuesday and I had the information present, it had been an AR-15, and my conjecture was it was probably an M4 if it was on a military post and he sold. Well, he never even had one of those. I was too happy to retract that yesterday, but I wasn't the one demanding they be all be taken off the street.
Yeah. We've got Bill Fady with us today here on the big broadcast, and Lock and Load Radio is available at their incredible website, lockandloadradio.com. what are we doing with this story? Is this going to have a bigger impact on society in general, or where do we go here with this?
I think if we take the lessons that we learned from this and don't concentrate so much on the gun grabbers, we understand now. We understood it before. We understood this at Fort Hood. Military posts, once the outer perimeter security is breached, is a wide open target. They did not do anything about it after Fort Hood. Now we've had this happen. The same with every school shooting that we have. They've never done anything about changing the gun-free zone. Now we're starting to, in various states are starting to let teachers carry guns.
Yeah.
We'll start to see a pushback on that. We'll see something big happen in Chicago because Illinois just became a de facto constitutional carry state because they just frittered away their time to do anything where they had any meaningful control over it, which is great in my estimation. But we need to look at the base security. We need to look at mental health. Military needs to look at how they issue these security clearances. And if they'll take those lessons, they will mitigate some of this stuff that's happening. If they don't, if they're going to concentrate on the fact that he had the AR-15 assault shotgun, which doesn't exist, and that's what they're going to be on, then we will have this again. And everywhere we have a gun-free zone, as we see the gun-free zones contract, if they will simply do away with them, those targets will begin to diminish.
Yeah. We've got a great guest.
This is a reality of life today. This is the way it is. We have raised a bunch of young men that have been medicated to their eyeballs. Everybody, we're a narcissistic society where everybody's famous because they got a Facebook page and a Twitter page. It's me, and these people that want to go out in a blaze of glory, they're going to look for the easiest target.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree with you. Bill Fady with us today. D.C. Navy Yard shootings is the topic. LockandLoadRadio.com is the website. And this is such an incredible situation. Aaron Alexis, believed to be the lone gunman in the killing of 12 people at a Navy Yard building in Washington Monday morning, was a Navy veteran from New York with a troubled past. Alexis was given a general discharge from the Navy and arrested in 2 previous shooting incidents in Fort Worth, Texas, and Seattle. In 2004, Seattle police said Alexis was arrested for shooting out the tires of another man's vehicle in what he later described to detectives as an anger-fueled blackout. Okay, at that point, why did we not do anything about this guy?
Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah. I have no idea. That should have been if somebody says, I blacked out and I just shot something, I mean, that's a game changer for me as far as that individual is concerned. Okay, let me have your gun, and let's go over here and get in the nice white robe and get in the nice ambulance and go take a car ride. But for whatever reason, they did not do that. They didn't do that in Texas. There's a couple of other questions concerning this shooting that I want to know about. Once again, as in Beirut, when that Marine Corps barracks was bombed, we had Marines present with weapons but no ammo.
Wow, really?
There were Marines present there. These guys were all combat vets. They know exactly what to do going inside. It's called MOUT, Mobile Operations in Urban Terrain. That's room clearing. Yeah. I don't know what the Marine Corps calls it. That's what we called it in the Army. And they could have gone in there and taken care of that. The CERT team from the Capitol Police, the Containment Emergency Response Team, that's a really good 4-man fire team.
Yeah. That
specialize in dynamic entry and discriminatory engagement. They got told to stand down. This thing could have been stopped 40 minutes earlier than it was, and that would have been live saved.
Wow.
I've got questions about that as well.
It is a crazy situation. We have got Bill Fady joining us today. D.C. Navy Yard shootings is the topic. And Alexis was still in the reserves when a neighbor in Fort Worth reported she had been nearly struck by a bullet shot from his downstairs apartment in September 2010. Fort Worth police questioned Alexis about the neighbor's report. He admitted to firing his weapon, but said he was cleaning his gun when it accidentally discharged. Since the shooting was found to be accidental, charges were not pursued. In both incidents, Alexis was said to have felt very angered or mocked by others. How could Alexis remain in the reserves with his record of instability? This is what we've been discussing today. How was a man arrested in 2 previous shooting incidents given security clearance to enter the Navy Yard? That's my question. How did that happen?
This is obviously the politically correct military. This is, I believe after Iraq and Afghanistan became engaged, they might have lowered a few standards in the military as far as who they would take, because it's really hard to have an all-volunteer force when you know you've got to get people to volunteer to go to combat. We've never done that really on that scale before. So they may have relaxed a few standards. I'm not real sure. I haven't been on a military post since I stepped off Fort Campbell in 1990. So I don't know what their protocol or their standard procedure is on that nowadays. To be in any part of the military nowadays, you have to have at least a secret clearance, which is what he had. And, apparently that carried over into his civilian time as well, even though he was hearing the voices. And the Rhode Island police warned the Naval Yard that he was hearing the voices.
We've got a great guest with us today. Bill Fady joins us here on the program, and lockandloadradio.com is the official website. Bill, thanks for being on with us. I appreciate the candor, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you in the next couple of weeks about this as the story develops.
Roger that, sir. You stay safe. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Have yourself a wonderful day, Bill. Thanks, man.
You too.
Bill Fady with us today here on the big broadcast. Lock and Load Radio is the website. We're going to take a quick little time out here. When we come back, we've got more, so keep it locked, keep it loaded to the world famous Jiggy Jaguar Show.
At dollarseed.com, all of our seeds are only $1 a pack. And we have online resources that teach you all about the rewarding hobby of growing your own plants, flowers, herbs, and vegetables. Imagine the joy you'll feel when your children actually help you harvest your first garden.